Milo woke up to a strange, cold light that filled the room. His head ached, and the last thing he remembered was walking through the forest near his home. Now, he was lying on a smooth metallic floor, surrounded by walls that seemed alive, moving slightly as if breathing. The air smelled faintly of ozone, sharp but not unpleasant. He tried to stand, but his limbs felt heavy, as if he had not used them for days. Before he could get his bearings, a tall figure appeared at the end of the room. The being was unlike anything Milo had ever seen. It stood nearly 3 meters tall, with smooth armor-like skin that shimmered faintly in the strange light. Its face was sharp, almost sculpted, with eyes that glowed softly. Milo instinctively stepped back, fear tightening his chest. "You are awake," the figure said in a voice that resonated without words. The sound entered Milo's mind directly, making him shiver. Milo swallowed hard and nodded. "Yes. I am awake." The figure tilted its head, studying him. Its movements were graceful, controlled, and precise. Behind it, several others of its kind moved silently, surrounding Milo with an air of careful observation. Milo realized he was completely surrounded. He could not run, he could not hide. "You do not understand our language," the tall being continued, its voice calm but firm. "You are far from your home. Why are you here?" Milo's heart raced. He thought about answering carefully. I do not know," he said truthfully. "I was walking through the forest, and then I woke up here." The being did not respond immediately. It lowered itself slightly to look directly into Milo's eyes. Milo felt a strange weight in that gaze, as if the alien was trying to look not only at him but through him. "You are a human," it finally said. "You are small, fragile, and yet you survive." Milo felt a spark of courage. He straightened his back. "Yes," he said. "We survive. We find ways to live, even when it is difficult." The alien made a soft sound, almost like a hum, and motioned for Milo to stand slowly. Milo got up, feeling the strange pull of gravity and the stiffness in his muscles. His eyes scanned the room. The walls were smooth and curved, glowing faintly with symbols he could not read. In one corner, a small window showed stars outside, and the vastness of space made Milo feel even smaller. From behind the tall being, another figure entered. This one was taller, more regal, with a crown-like structure on its head. Its presence was commanding, and the room seemed to change when it appeared. The other beings knelt slightly, a gesture Milo recognized as respect. The regal figure stepped forward. Its eyes, sharp and intelligent, focused entirely on Milo. "You are my captive," it said. Its voice was softer than the others, but it carried authority that made Milo feel the weight of the entire ship pressing down on him. Milo swallowed, trying to steady his racing heart. "I am not a threat," he said. "I only want to survive." The alien queen did not speak for a moment. She studied him with a careful intensity, as if trying to understand his mind. "Your kind is unusual," she said finally. "You are weak compared to us. You should be afraid. Yet you do not tremble completely." Milo realized she was testing him. Fear would have been the natural response, but he forced himself to remain calm. "I am afraid," he admitted honestly. "But fear does not mean I give up. We find strength in what we can do, even when we are small." The queen tilted her head slightly, a gesture Milo did not understand, but he felt it was approval in some way. Around the room, the other aliens murmured softly among themselves. Milo sensed curiosity, confusion, and even respect, though he could not be sure. The Queen motioned for the tall being that first spoke to guide Milo through the chamber. Milo followed cautiously, noting how everything around him seemed alive with movement. The walls pulsed faintly as if they were breathing. The floor shifted slightly under his feet, making him keep his balance carefully. As he walked, Milo tried to memorize everything he could. The ship was unlike anything humans had built. It was vast, with corridors that twisted and curved in ways that seemed impossible. Small lights floated in the air, showing paths and symbols he could not understand. Finally, they reached a large room with a high ceiling. Strange machines lined the walls, moving on their own, scanning the air and glowing intermittently. In the center, the Queen stood waiting. She did not speak immediately. Milo felt the weight of her gaze, but he held his ground. "You will answer my questions," she said at last. "Your answers will determine your fate." Milo nodded, though inside, he felt a mix of fear and determination. He was small, far from home, and surrounded by beings far stronger than himself. Yet, for the first time, he felt a spark of hope. His mind raced with ideas, and he realized that this was not just a test of survival. This was a chance to show that humans were more than what they seemed. And for the first time, Milo believed he might have a chance to change the way these powerful aliens saw humanity. Milo stood in the center of the chamber, facing the alien Queen. Her tall, regal figure towered over him, yet she moved with surprising grace. Around her, the other Zealari watched silently, their glowing eyes fixed on him. Milo's heart raced, but he took a deep breath and reminded himself that fear would not help. "You have been brought here for observation," the Queen said. Her voice filled the room, calm yet commanding. "We wish to understand humans. You may speak, but your words will be judged carefully." Milo nodded. "I will answer honestly," he said. "I will tell you what I know." The Queen's eyes narrowed slightly. "We do not understand your kind. You are weak physically. You have no natural weapons. Yet you survive. Why?" Milo thought for a moment. "Because humans use their minds," he answered. "We think, we plan, and we work together. We learn from each other and from our mistakes. Strength is not only in the body. It is in courage, intelligence, and unity." The Queen studied him closely. Milo noticed a flicker of curiosity in her eyes. She had expected fear, submission, or confusion. Instead, Milo spoke with confidence and calm. "Words are not enough," she said finally. "Show me your courage. Show me why humans deserve to survive." Milo's pulse quickened. He did not know what she meant, but he understood it would be a test. The tall Zealari beside the Queen motioned for him to follow. Milo walked carefully, keeping his eyes on the glowing floor and the walls that seemed to breathe. Every step felt strange, yet he forced himself to stay steady. They reached another room. This one was larger, filled with floating platforms and strange devices. Lights moved across the walls, scanning the air, and Milo felt a soft hum in his chest as he stepped inside. "You will navigate this room," the Queen said. "Your goal is simple. Reach the platform in the center. But beware. Failure will be noticed." Milo looked at the platforms. They floated in mid-air, separated by gaps that seemed impossible to cross. The floor below was smooth metal, but it pulsed faintly, making him feel unsteady. He could see that the platforms were not static. They moved slowly, shifting up and down, forward and backward. Milo realized this was not just a test of courage. It was a test of focus, observation, and problem solving. He took a deep breath and stepped onto the first platform. It wobbled slightly under his weight, but he adjusted quickly. Milo studied the movement of the platforms, predicting their patterns. His mind worked rapidly, calculating where he could step next. The queen watched silently, her eyes following every movement. Milo felt her judgment, yet he did not panic. He focused on the task, ignoring the fear in his chest. Step by step, he moved across the platforms, careful yet determined. Halfway through, a platform shifted unexpectedly. Milo jumped, landing safely on the next one. His heart pounded, but he kept moving. He realized that the test was not about speed but about patience and understanding. Each platform was a problem, and his mind had to solve it before taking action. Finally, Milo reached the center platform. He stood there, breathing heavily but steady. The queen approached, her expression unreadable. "You have completed the task," she said. "Yet this is only a small measure of courage. Humans speak of bravery, but how do you act when the odds are against you?" Milo thought of his life on Earth, of challenges faced with friends and neighbors. "We act because we must," he said. "Even when it is difficult, even when we are afraid. We do not give up because we are small. We fight because it is the right thing to do." The queen tilted her head slightly, a gesture Milo did not understand. He noticed the zealotry around her whispering among themselves. Their sounds were soft, almost like curiosity mixed with surprise. "You speak differently from others I have observed," the queen said. "You do not speak of fear alone. You speak of purpose. Why?" Milo smiled faintly. "Because humans survive by believing in something larger than themselves. We care for each other, for our world, and for what is right. That gives us strength." The queen's eyes lingered on him. For a moment, Milo thought she might simply release him, but then she shook her head slowly. "This is only the beginning," she said. "Your mind is sharper than I expected. I will continue to test you. But know this, human. I am intrigued. Your kind may have value beyond what I imagined." Milo nodded. He realized that the challenge was far from over, but for the first time, he felt a spark of hope. He had shown that humans were more than what the aliens expected. Intelligence, courage, and determination could stand against strength and size. As he was led back to the chamber where he had first awoken, Milo felt a sense of pride. He had faced the queen's challenge without fear, and he had earned a moment of respect. Though he was still a captive, he understood that the mind could be as powerful as any weapon. And for the first time, Milo believed that he could change the way these powerful aliens saw humanity. After completing the queen's challenge, Milo was returned to the main chamber. The alien queen, Zyra, did not speak immediately. She observed him carefully, her glowing eyes scanning every movement, every expression. The zealotry around her whispered softly, their language strange but filled with curiosity. Milo realized that he had not only passed a test of courage, but he had also captured the attention of a civilization far stronger than his own. "You have surprised me," Zyra finally said. "Your kind is unlike anything we expected. You speak with purpose, yet you are small. You survive, yet you are weak. Explain this, human. How do you endure?" Milo straightened his back and spoke clearly. "We endure because we care. We care for each other, for our families, for our communities. Even when we are small, even when the odds are against us, we find ways to survive together. The Queen tilted her head slightly, a gesture that seemed thoughtful. We do not understand this. Cooperation is useful, but it is rare among your species. You risk yourself for others without command. Why? Milo smiled faintly. Because we believe that life is valuable. Each person matters. When one of us suffers, we all feel it. We work together because it makes us stronger. Not just physically, but in mind and spirit. Zyra made a soft humming sound. Milo noticed that even the guards and advisors were listening more closely now. It was unusual for the Zealary to consider ideas beyond force and dominance, yet Milo's words seemed to reach something deep within them. Tell me more, the Queen said. Show me the ways of your kind. How does a weak species survive in a universe full of danger? Milo took a deep breath. He began to explain the history of humans on Earth. He spoke of early humans, who lived in small tribes, facing wild animals, harsh weather, and scarce food. We survived because we learned from each other, he said. We shared knowledge, taught our young, and solved problems together. No one person could survive alone for long. We learned that survival is teamwork. He continued, describing the invention of tools, the building of homes, and the creation of communities. Even when we face threats larger than ourselves, we adapt. We invent, we plan, we cooperate. That is how humans have lasted for thousands of years. The Queen listened silently, her eyes glowing faintly. She seemed both intrigued and puzzled. Milo could sense that she was trying to understand a concept foreign to her, a species that valued knowledge and empathy over strength and fear. Your words suggest more than survival, Zyra said. You speak of values, of something beyond instinct. How do humans decide what is right? Milo thought for a moment. We have rules, traditions, and laws, but we also learn from experience. We watch how our actions affect others. We ask ourselves if what we do is fair or kind. Even when it is hard, we try to make the right choice. That is how we grow stronger, not just as individuals, but as a species. Around the room, the Zealary murmured softly. Milo realized that some of them were nodding, though he could not understand the words. He had never imagined that his simple explanations could make a difference. Zyra stepped closer, lowering her voice slightly. Your kind is dangerous in ways we did not expect. Not in weapons or numbers, but in mind. A human can inspire loyalty, cooperation, and strength far beyond their size. Yet you are still fragile. How do you face fear? Milo's eyes met hers, steady and unwavering. We face fear by choosing action over panic. We make plans, we trust each other, and we keep moving forward. Fear is natural, but it does not control us. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to act in spite of it. For a moment, the Queen was silent. She seemed to consider every word, turning them over in her mind. Milo realized that she was not just listening, but learning. She was trying to understand a species that had survived in ways the Zealary never imagined. You speak of empathy, intelligence, and courage, Zyra said at last. These are qualities we respect. They are rare among conquerors. You have taught us something, human. Perhaps your kind deserves more attention than we gave it. Milo felt a small surge of hope. He had not only survived but had shown the Zealary that humans were more than their size or strength. Even in captivity, he had begun to change their perception of his people. Your species is remarkable, Milo said. Not because we are strong, but because we care. Because we work together and face challenges with courage and thought. That is why we endure. The Queen stepped back, her expression thoughtful. Milo realized that this conversation was far from over. She would continue to test him, to understand humans more deeply. But for the first time, he felt that he was making a real impact. As he was escorted back to a smaller chamber to rest, Milo reflected on what had just happened. He had spoken not just with words, but with honesty, courage, and insight. He had given the aliens a glimpse of what humans truly were. And Milo knew that this was only the beginning. The Queen's curiosity would lead to more challenges, more tests, and perhaps, a chance to show that humans could inspire even the most advanced alien civilization. The next day, Milo was led from his small chamber to a new area of the alien ship. The corridor was wide, lined with tall, glowing panels that pulsed gently under his feet. The auxiliary guards walked silently beside him, their eyes glowing softly as they watched his every move. Milo felt a strange mixture of fear and anticipation. He did not yet know what this test would be, but he knew it would challenge him in ways he had never faced before. The corridor opened into a vast chamber with high ceilings that seemed to stretch endlessly. In the center floated a large platform, suspended in mid-air. Around it, smaller platforms moved unpredictably, some rising and falling, others spinning slowly. The walls were covered in strange machinery, their purpose unclear. A low hum filled the air, vibrating through Milo's chest and making his heartbeat quicken. The alien queen, Zyra, appeared at the far end of the chamber. Her presence was commanding, yet calm, as always. She stepped forward, her glowing eyes fixed on Milo. "This test is different from the last," she said. "It is not only about observation. It is about courage, resourcefulness, and calm under pressure. You must navigate this chamber, reach the center platform, and survive the challenges that await. Fail, and you will reveal the limits of your kind. Succeed, and you may surprise us further." Milo swallowed, feeling the weight of her words. He nodded. "I will do my best," he said. Without further warning, the platforms began to move. Milo took a careful step onto the first one. It wobbled under his weight, testing his balance. He adjusted quickly, concentrating on the rhythm and movement of the platforms. Each step required focus, patience, and calculation. A wrong move could send him falling onto the glowing floor below, though he did not know what might happen if he fell. As he advanced, the challenges increased. Some platforms moved faster, others tilted unexpectedly. Milo noticed that the patterns were not random. If he observed carefully, he could predict where each platform would go next. He began to think like an engineer, calculating distances and timing his movements with precision. The auxiliary guards watched silently, and Milo felt their judgment pressing on him. He reminded himself that fear would not help. Courage was not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. He took deep breaths and focused entirely on the task at hand. Halfway through the chamber, a platform shifted sharply, and Milo had to leap to the next one. His muscles strained, and he landed with a jolt, but he remained steady. He realized that this test was as much about mental strength as physical skill. He had to stay calm, think quickly, and trust himself. The Queen observed closely, her glowing eyes following every movement. Milo sensed that she was studying more than his agility. She was studying his mind, his ability to remain focused, and his reaction to unexpected danger. Another challenge appeared. A group of small drones emerged from the walls, moving swiftly toward him. They were not hostile, but they blocked his path and required him to dodge and plan each step carefully. Milo calculated their movements and used the platforms to avoid them, keeping his mind sharp and alert. Finally, after what felt like hours but was only minutes, Milo reached the center platform. He stood there, breathing heavily but steady. The queen approached, her expression unreadable. "You have succeeded," she said. "Not through strength or speed, but through observation, patience, and courage. You have shown resourcefulness that is rare even among our kind." Milo nodded, feeling a quiet pride. He realized that this test had not only measured his physical skill but also his ability to think clearly under pressure. He had faced fear, uncertainty, and unexpected obstacles, and he had overcome them with intelligence and determination. "You see, human," the queen continued, "courage is not reckless action. It is the choice to act wisely in the face of danger. Your kind is small, yet your mind allows you to achieve what many stronger beings cannot. This is why you endure." Milo smiled faintly. "That is how humans survive," he said. "We use our minds, our courage, and our cooperation to overcome challenges. Even when we are afraid, we move forward." The queen nodded slowly. Around the chamber, the Zealary guards whispered softly among themselves. Milo realized that his actions were making an impression, not only on Zyra but on the entire crew. For the first time, he felt that humans were being seen as more than just weak creatures. The queen stepped back, her glowing eyes still focused on Milo. "Your courage and intelligence are noteworthy," she said. "Remember this lesson. Strength alone does not determine survival. Mind, heart, and determination are equally important. You have proven that your kind can inspire respect, even among conquerors." As Milo was led back to his chamber, he felt a sense of accomplishment. He had faced the queen's most difficult tests so far and had emerged successful. More importantly, he had shown that humans were capable of bravery, intelligence, and calm reasoning under pressure. And for the first time, Milo realized that this was not just a test of survival. It was an opportunity to demonstrate the true potential of humanity to beings far stronger than himself. After surviving the test of courage, Milo was returned to the chamber where he had first met the queen. Zyra did not speak immediately. She observed him carefully, her glowing eyes reflecting a mix of curiosity and something new puzzlement. Milo could sense that she was considering more than his actions. She was trying to understand the mind and heart of a human. "You have faced challenges that would make many beings falter," Zyra said at last. "You have shown courage and intelligence. Yet there is something I do not understand. Tell me, human, why do your kind fight, even when the odds are against you? Why do you risk yourselves for causes that seem impossible to achieve?" Milo paused. The question was simple, yet profound. He had thought about this many times on Earth, in his own life and in the stories he had heard. He could see why the queen would find it strange. In Zealary society, strength and strategy determined survival. Humans, small and fragile, seemed to defy logic. He looked at her steadily. "Because we believe that some things are worth fighting for," he said. "We fight for our families, our communities, and for what we know is right. Even when the risk is great, we act because we cannot stand by and do nothing. Courage does not come from knowing we will win. It comes from knowing we must act, no matter the outcome." The queen's eyes widened slightly. Milo noticed her glowing gaze linger on him, more intense than before. She was not used to such an answer. The Zealary valued control, order, and the certainty of victory. Humans, in contrast, acted with purpose even in uncertainty. This concept seemed almost impossible to her. Zyra stepped closer, her presence imposing yet thoughtful. "You speak of values and choices," she said. "Yet your species is small. You are fragile. You could be destroyed easily. Why do you not surrender to fear?" Milo's voice was calm but firm. "Because fear does not make the choice for us. It is natural to feel afraid, but we decide how to act. Standing up for what matters is not about size or strength. It is about the heart, the mind, and the determination to do what is right." For a moment, the chamber was silent. Even the guards and advisors seemed to sense the weight of his words. Milo realized that he had not only answered the Queen's question but had also given her a glimpse into human resilience and morality. Zyra's expression softened slightly, though she did not show it openly. "You speak with conviction," she said. "Your kind is dangerous, not because of weapons or numbers, but because of the will to act. You challenge expectations and inspire loyalty. This is unfamiliar to us. You defy the logic of survival." Milo nodded. "That is how humans endure," he said. "We do not rely on fear, force, or size alone. We rely on each other, on our minds, and on our courage. We believe in something larger than ourselves, and that gives us strength." The Queen remained silent, studying him. Milo noticed her posture shift slightly, a subtle sign of reflection. He realized that his answer had unsettled her in a way he could not fully understand. She was accustomed to obedience, fear, or calculated strategy. Humans, however, acted from values that were independent of command. "You have given me much to consider," Zyra said finally. "Your species may be smaller and weaker, but your mind and spirit are formidable. I underestimated humans. Perhaps strength is not always measured in size or weapons. Perhaps it lies in purpose and choice." Milo felt a quiet pride. He had spoken honestly, without fear, and had conveyed the essence of humanity to a being far stronger than himself. For the first time, he sensed that the Queen saw humans not merely as fragile creatures, but as a species capable of inspiring respect. "You have surprised me, human," Zyra continued. "Your words are simple, yet they carry truth. I am stunned by your answer. It is rare to encounter a being who acts with courage, thought, and purpose, even when survival is uncertain." Milo met her gaze steadily. "That is what humans do," he said. "We do not give up because the odds are against us. We act because it is right, because it matters. That is our strength." The Queen's advisors whispered among themselves, their glowing eyes reflecting curiosity and reconsideration. Milo realized that his words were influencing not only Zyra but her entire court. Humans were beginning to be seen differently, not as weak prey, but as beings with value, insight, and courage. Zyra stepped back, her expression thoughtful and serious. "You have given me a new perspective," she said. "Perhaps the universe holds more surprises than I imagined. Your kind may have more to teach us than I once believed." As Milo was escorted back to his chamber, he felt a sense of quiet triumph. He had faced the Queen's most profound question and answered with honesty and clarity. In doing so, he had not only defended himself but had begun to change the way a powerful civilization viewed humanity. And for the first time, Milo felt that his words could matter as much as his actions. The Queen had been stunned by his answer, and he knew that this was only the beginning of a larger journey, a journey where humans could inspire even the most advanced alien minds. After Milo's answer had stunned Queen Zyra, the atmosphere aboard the Zealary ship began to change. Even the guards and advisors, who had always followed orders without question, now whispered among themselves. They discussed the human's courage, his intelligence, and the clarity with which he had explained his people. Some of the whispers carried doubt about what they had been taught, that humans were weak, simple, and easily conquered. Milo had planted a seed of curiosity in every mind that had watched him. The queen summoned Milo to a larger chamber where the Xelari strategists and scholars often gathered. They stood silently as he entered, and Milo could feel their gaze measuring him. Unlike before, there was no immediate challenge. Zyra simply observed him, her glowing eyes reflecting thoughtfulness rather than command. "You have given me much to consider," Zyra began. "Your actions and words reveal qualities we did not expect. Courage, intelligence, and a sense of purpose, these are not common, even among us. I wish to understand more." Milo nodded. "I am ready to explain what I can," he said. "I can tell you how humans survive, how we work together, and why we fight for what matters." One of the advisors, a tall Xelari with silver armor, stepped forward. "Explain to us, human. How can a species so small and fragile achieve strength?" Milo took a deep breath and spoke slowly. "Strength is not only physical. Humans survive because we use our minds, because we plan, because we care for each other. Even when we are weak, we can accomplish great things by working together. One human alone is limited, but many humans united can overcome challenges far larger than themselves." The queen's eyes softened slightly. She motioned for him to continue. Milo felt a surge of confidence. He realized that this was no longer a simple test. He had the chance to change the way these powerful beings thought about humanity. "We humans also learn from mistakes," Milo said. "When something goes wrong, we do not give up. We observe, we adjust, and we try again. That is how we improve and grow. That is why we endure. Even small beings can survive in a universe that seems too vast and dangerous." The strategists murmured among themselves, clearly intrigued. One of them asked, "You speak of cooperation, but what of loyalty? Your species is known to fight even when others fail. Why not abandon hope?" Milo smiled faintly. "Because we believe in each other. We fight not for ourselves alone, but for those who cannot fight. We fight because some things are worth protecting. We fight because our choices matter. Even when victory seems impossible, we act because giving up is not an option." Zyra nodded slowly. She could feel the truth in his words. For centuries, the Xelari had relied on dominance, control, and fear to maintain order. Humans, in contrast, relied on mind, heart, and cooperation. It was a concept alien to her, yet it resonated deeply. "You speak as if your species is noble," Zyra said. "Yet humans are fragile, unarmed, and scattered. How can such a small species pose a challenge to us?" Milo looked directly at her. "Because our strength is in more than our bodies. It is in our minds, our courage, and our willingness to stand together. Strength is not measured only in size or weapons. It is measured in what you are willing to do to protect what you value. That is what makes humans dangerous and enduring." The room fell silent. Even the queen's advisors seemed unsure how to respond. Milo could sense that he had shifted their thinking. He had not spoken with threats, nor had he shown aggression. He had simply explained the essence of humanity, its resilience, intelligence, and unity. Zyra stepped forward. "You have shown us that humans are more than prey," she said. "Your kind can inspire loyalty, strategy, and courage in ways we have not seen. Perhaps we have underestimated the power of mind and heart. Milo felt a quiet sense of accomplishment. He realized that the queen was beginning to treat him not as a captive, but as a teacher. His words were influencing a civilization that had never valued traits like empathy and purpose. The queen turned to her advisors. Observe carefully. Learn from this human. His courage and insight reveal that even the smallest beings can possess remarkable strength. We must reconsider what we know about other species, and perhaps about ourselves. Milo realized that his journey had reached a new stage. No longer was he simply surviving tests. He was shaping the perceptions of beings far stronger than himself. His words had planted a seed of respect, curiosity, and reflection in the Zealary. As he was escorted back to his chamber, Milo reflected on the events of the day. He understood that change does not happen quickly, even for a powerful species. But he had begun to shift their perspective, showing them that humans were worthy of respect. He knew that the Queen's curiosity and openness would continue to grow, and that his influence was only beginning. For the first time, Milo felt that being small and human did not limit him. His mind, courage, and honesty could inspire even the most advanced civilization. And that realization gave him hope that humans could shape the galaxy in ways the Zealary had never imagined. Milo awoke to a soft light filtering through the walls of his chamber. The events of the past days weighed heavily on his mind. He had faced challenges of courage, solved problems that tested his intellect, and answered questions that had stunned the alien queen. But today felt different. He sensed that something important was about to happen. The chamber doors opened, and Queen Zyra entered. She moved with her usual grace, but there was a warmth in her presence that Milo had not seen before. Behind her, the advisors and guards stood respectfully, their glowing eyes focused on him. Milo straightened and prepared himself, unsure what the queen intended. "You have shown qualities rare among all species," Zyra said. "Courage, intelligence, and honesty have guided you through tests that many would fail. You have also taught us that strength is not only in size or weapons. It is in purpose, mind, and heart." Milo nodded. "That is how humans survive," he said. "We endure by working together, by thinking carefully, and by acting for what is right. Even when we are small, we can make a difference." Zyra's eyes softened. "Indeed. Your words and actions have inspired not only me but all who observe you. Your species has qualities that we did not expect, and perhaps underestimated. It is time to consider a new path." The advisors exchanged whispers, some nodding in agreement. Milo realized that his influence had grown beyond the queen alone. The entire court was beginning to see humans in a new light, recognizing the potential that intelligence, courage, and cooperation could create. "You have earned the right to return to your people," Zyra continued. "But more than that, I wish to propose a connection between our species. Humans can teach us as much as we can teach them. Knowledge and cooperation can be more powerful than conquest alone." Milo's heart raced. He had hoped for freedom, but he had not expected this. I would be honored," he said. "Humans value friendship and learning. We can share knowledge and work together." Zyra nodded. "Then it shall be so. You will leave this ship not as a captive but as a representative of your kind. Your actions and words have shown that humans deserve respect, and that respect will form the foundation of our new understanding." Milo felt a wave of relief and pride. He had not only survived but had influenced the Zealary to see his species differently. The small human mind had made an impact on an entire civilization. He realized that courage, honesty, and intelligence could inspire respect even in the most powerful beings. "You must tell your people what you have learned here," Zyra said. Share the knowledge that humans can survive, not only through strength, but through cooperation, thought, and determination. This lesson will help both our species. Milo nodded again. I will, he promised. I will tell them about the Zealary and what I have learned. And I will tell them that humans can inspire even the strongest civilizations with courage and heart. The queen stepped back, her eyes bright with reflection. Go with our respect and our curiosity. May your species and ours grow together in understanding. You have reminded us that every being, no matter how small, has the power to influence the universe. Milo felt the weight of her words. He understood that this was more than freedom. It was a new beginning, a chance to bridge two civilizations, to show that humanity's greatest strength lay not in weapons or numbers, but in courage, wisdom, and purpose. As he was escorted to the ship's transport chamber, Milo took one last look at Zyra. She nodded at him, a gesture of trust and acknowledgement. He smiled faintly. He knew that this moment would remain with him forever. When the transport activated, Milo felt a rush as he returned to Earth. He carried not only the story of his survival but the knowledge that humans could inspire respect and understanding even in alien civilizations. He thought of his friends, his family, and his people. He realized that every challenge he had faced had prepared him to show humanity at its best. Back on Earth, Milo shared his experience. He spoke of courage in the face of danger, of intelligence guiding action, and of values that could inspire even the most advanced beings. His words ignited hope, pride, and determination among humans, proving that even the smallest species could achieve greatness. And somewhere in the stars, Queen Zyra and the Zealary remembered the human who had stunned them with his courage, his honesty, and his mind. Milo had shown them that strength is measured not only by size or weapons, but by purpose, heart, and determination. The story ended with a new alliance forming, a bridge between species built on respect, courage, and understanding. Humanity had not only survived captivity but had proven that it could inspire even the most powerful civilizations. Milo smiled, knowing that this was only the beginning. Humans had shown that intelligence, heart, and courage could shape the galaxy, and he was proud to be a part of that legacy.